So I did my pamphlet on Down syndrome. I decided to go with the trifold brochure. Um, so Down syndrome is a genetic disorder caused when the abnormal cell division results in an extra full or partial copy of chromosome 21. It's also commonly referred to as trisomy 21. So I have the prevalence here, cultural implications, services provided, the characteristics, and the educational implication. So some characteristics of this disability. Physical characteristics include low muscle tone, small stature, and upward slant to the eyes. And with the low muscle tone, that can cause some developmental delays with the child's crawling or walking, but they are typically able to learn all those things, just maybe at a slower pace than normal. They are also have some cognitive problems, but those are typically mild to moderate. A few common problems include short attention span and slow learning. So again, just a little more delayed, and it takes them a little longer to learn things. But with the proper therapies and teaching strategies, they will be able to succeed, just like any other child. They may have some delays in expressive language, difficulties developing clear speech, and infants with Down syndrome are typically very sociable, and those social skills continue to develop through adulthood typically. Some services provided include speech, occupational, and physical therapy, and with the proper early intervention services, children with disabilities and Down syndrome in particular are fully capable of becoming successful members of society. Even with their developmental struggles, with the correct assistance and support, they are able to learn and succeed, just like other children their age. It just might take them a little longer than typical. Some cultural implications, a few differences that maybe between the US and other cultures would be what treatments are used, the availability of resources, so maybe the availability of different speeches or different therapies, the expectations parents have for their child, and the relationship between families and caregivers and the professionals involved. That's why cross-cultural competence is so important when working with families with a child with disabilities, just so you can be aware of your own beliefs, but also be aware of their beliefs and their culture so that you are able to educate them and do what's best for their family and for their culture. For educational implication, I really liked this quote that I found from the Department of Health and Human Services. It says, "A student with Down syndrome is more likely to experience success in a school where inclusion is embraced and supported as part of the school culture, and where different learning needs of all the students are acknowledged and properly addressed." I have a brother with Down syndrome, so personally, I completely agree with this quote. I think inclusion is so important, and it can really help students with Down syndrome succeed and do their best in school. Children with Down syndrome typically learn better with the use of visual supports and examples. So some teaching strategies I have here: breaking up skills into smaller steps, more repetition, and structured activities. Those are all ways to help a child with Down syndrome be able to learn and get everything that they can out of their educational experience. And some resources I have for families: National Down Syndrome Society, Down Syndrome International, that's for in the UK, so some different cultures involved there. And then I have some books for parents also. I just thought these resources seemed very helpful. They have a lot of different resources within this one resource, which would be very, very helpful for parents, if they want to find organizations or groups within their hometown where they could get help and support for their child that has Down syndrome.